right, welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi, and this is your Mikel Arteta press reaction. Arsenal up against Crystal Palace, match day 18 in the Premier League. Can we keep winning? We have won 4 straight games. Can we keep winning? We're going to be discussing Mikel Arteta. I brought back the press conferences for one reason. They're the only way we can get official news and official views from Arsenal. I think many people have been telling me, Kosi, we want something a little bit confirmed. We want something a little bit official. What is the club saying? So this is the only way we can get something, other than Fabrice Romano, David Ornstein, and sometimes. Those things, those journalists do not come in thick and fast, Charles Watts and so on. So, we can use the press conferences maybe to get some bit of confirmed rumors, confirmed news, and the updates and everything. So we'll be doing a press conference before the match and even after the match where it is possible. So make sure you've subscribed. So smash the like button. Let us go into Mikel Arteta's press conference and react to it. He talked about so many things ahead of the Crystal Palace game, the Newcastle win, which actually meant so big. Gabriel Martinelli's injury situation. He says he had a scan this morning and it doesn't look so bad. We're going to be looking at that. Thomas Partey is back. Gabriel Magalhaes may not be actually very, so much of confirmed, but he is also back in full training and he's very, very available for the team. So if we want to use him, we shall actually use him. He's talked about so many things. Emile Smith-Rowe as the new Kevin De Bruyne, Emiliano Buendia, and a couple of other transfer rumors. Mesut Ozil. What did he talk about? I think nothing. So let us just get down into there. I hope you guys enjoy Mikel Arteta, and this is my press conference reaction. So we'll be using Football in London for these episodes. I hope you guys do not have any problems with them, because I do not have any problems with them, and they're the website we'll be using. At times we'll be using the Arsenal website, but at times, why I don't like the Arsenal website, they really cut out many segments, and they only want to put out what what they want the Arsenal fan to see. And for me, I want to see everything. I want to listen to everything. I've listened and watched to the press conference, and now we are reading it from Football in London. So I'll be able to comment, react, and add some flavor where necessary. So first question on whether modern managers will struggle. Is that the first question really? Yeah, it is the first question here. On whether modern managers will struggle to have the longevity of Roy Hodgson, because make no mistake, Roy Hodgson is the manager at Crystal Palace, and he said probably we will see what happens. I've had a lot of coaches when they have started say I'm only going to do that for 5 years, 6 years maximum. It has been 15, 20, and they are still there. So it's difficult to drag. It's a difficult drag to take out from your system. And I think once you are in, once you are on it, you have to carry on doing it. And I think he's absolutely right. He's very, very right. There are very few managers, and this is really like starting anything. Whenever people start something, you want to do it for 2 years, 5 years, then you move on. And when you listen to the stories of many managers, they tell you, or they'll say when at the end of their careers, I thought I was going to do this for 5 years. I thought I was going to do this for 6 years, and go somewhere, and they did it for 20 years. He's absolutely right, but. Addressing this issue is also very, very crucial. The longevity of managers like Roy Hodgson, Harry Redknapp, and those kind of managers is going to be a little bit tricky for the young managers, especially with the pressure that comes with their jobs. Look at Frank Lampard, look at Mikel Arteta, look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Look at those young managers that are on to those big jobs. it's really becoming very, very hard to keep your job. And of course, when you keep, being sacked from here and there, eventually the frustration will keep you out, will kick you out of the sport. But I think this is a result-based game. The managers that will keep themselves getting the positive results will keep in the sport. The managers that will fail to get the positive results, will keep out of the sport. Because trust me, if you're a manager like Frank Lampard and you impress, Roman Abramovich, you're going to be there. If you're a manager like Mikel and you can take Arsenal places, you're gonna be there. But if you can't give us the maximum result, if you cannot, bring out the maximum potential of the side, if you cannot represent positively the side you're leading, then the longevity in the sport as a manager becomes a little bit, questionable. On whether he would like to have worked to work with Wilfried Zaha, and he said, well, undoubtedly, he's a player that has done exceptionally well in the Premier League. He has created a big name because of what he has been able to do. Sometimes just on his own, some individual actions, that's what people highlight all the time. But yeah, he's a player that's playing for Palace at the moment, and I have nothing to comment about that. And I think the real thing, if I were Mikel Arteta, I would say the same thing, because this is, a player going to play against. You don't need to pour a lot of praises on him. You don't really need to, undermine him in the media. You don't need to do character assassination there. But the truth is, Zaha is a world-class winger. He might not really live to achieve that. He's going to be an underrated player, all his life, because he failed to work out much at Manchester United, and everybody looks at him in that scenario that he got a chance to work out at Manchester United. Things never worked out. Maybe he's not that kind of world-class player, but he is a world-class player. If he just needs to get a second chance. Maybe he was a little bit naive and young, and he hadn't found himself by the time he was playing at Manchester United. But without a doubt, right now I think he's one of the best wingers in the Premier League. And if Arsenal only had decided to go for for him, which I thought by then was a no-brainer. He was on fire. He's still on fire at Crystal Palace. He's a good player, and I do not disagree with that, with the comment Mikel Arteta did make, because you're a manager for Arsenal and you're taking on Wilfried Zaha. Praising him only gives him, more energy. Maybe he's an Arsenal fan and he's hurt because he never got the chance to play for Arsenal. We all know what happened. We tried to sign him almost 5 years ago when Arsene Wenger was manager. He opted for Manchester United. Then, things never work out. He goes to Crystal Palace again. He regains, his form and run. And he's one of the best players now. But I did see his comments earlier on when we were talking about the failed move for Arsenal. And he was saying actually that, the club chose Pepe over him. But in the first place, it's just Manchester United over us. You still remember that. You still remember then when he was playing with Crystal Palace and they were just getting relegated, promoted from relegation. Or from the Championship, not from relegation anyway. But he chose Manchester United over us, so it's a tit for tat anyway. But I disagree. I think Mikel Arteta knows that he's such a wonderful player. On Emi Buendia and Costa links, he said, yeah, we get linked with a couple of players we haven't even discussed. So you can imagine I cannot go name by name. That is really true. Arsenal is one of those clubs that are really linked with a couple of with a chunk of names when it comes to transfers. But I think he should have added some more light on Emi Buendia. He should have said that we are interested anyway. But that is what he had to comment on. On Torreira, he said, well, I had some conversations with Lucas. He started the loan period really well. Now he's lacking game time. I can't, it can happen. The team is doing exceptionally well. They are first in the Spanish La Liga, so when a team is winning, it's difficult to get into the lineup. It's a long season. I know Lucas's character. He's going to try to keep going and pushing, so let's see what's going to happen with him. Of course, the Lucas Torreira issue is there have been rumors that Arsenal were not happy actually the Arsenal were not really happy with what was going on. He was not getting game time and everything that was happening. And then there were also rumors that he would make a switch loan deal from Atletico Madrid to Fiorentina, but Mikel Arteta says, he has to keep it, to keep up. And I think, it makes some sense. If you can't fight for your place against Atletico Madrid, which I do not want to really compare to Arsenal, I think they're a little bit, they step ahead. But he needs to fight for his place at Arsenal, at Atletico Madrid, if he's going to play for Arsenal, because we are striving to go to a level, at least at Atletico Madrid's level. So he needs to stay there and fight. But for me, it would do me a world of good if Torreira came at Arsenal and stayed there. He's a very good squad player. We have been struggling with Thomas Partey being injured. This is a time where we needed him most. If Partey got injured and we had Torreira, maybe we wouldn't have had that, big deficit that we really had when the Ghanaian international was out. But that is his comments on Lucas Torreira on whether top 6 is possible. Wow, let me listen to this. And he said, in the next 2 games, I think the next 2 games are crucial to see the direction that we are taking, to reinforce all the things that we have improved on, the results that we have that we are having recently. And I think we will know much more in the next 2 games whether top 6 is possible. And my answer onto this is top 6 is really possible for us now. I said our finish would be 7th or 8th, and I still stand on that. But if we strive to strike for top 6, I think it is possible. If you look at the difference between Arsenal and position number 4, those are 6 points. We are in position 11. It's all about winning games and collecting the points and winning games in and out. If we can't do that, I think we can't get there. But if only Arsenal fail to get a winning run, I'm not talking about a winning run that is 5 games and then you start losing, or 6 games. We need to win at least 10 games in a row. Can we do that? That's that remains for only time to tell. But I think top 6 is still possible. On how Ozil handled being left out, and he said, well, it's always difficult to handle the situation when you're left out of the squad. It's been difficult for everybody to have players in that squad. It wasn't only him, because you need them motivated, you need them training well, you need them to be part of what you are trying to do. And when they don't feel like they can contribute to that, it's always tricky. We have tried to manage the best possible way. Okay, of course, he did come out and say that Mesut Ozil was out of that squad for footballing reasons, and now he says they have tried to handle it the best possible way. In the interest of the club, they have tried to handle it very well. In the interest of the player, I think it has been an absolute shambles. Yeah. And I think he needs to. They need to work on it as soon as possible, so that the player gets off the hook, so that he leaves the club. But I still think Mesut Ozil will be leaving this January transfer window. On Emile Smith Rowe being called, cried on De Bruyne, and he said, "Call him Emile. Let's keep it simple. It's just a start. There is a lot to do." And I think, and I think again, for me, if I was Mikel Arteta on Emile Smith Rowe in the comments, I would have given him a motivator. I think Emile Smith Rowe needs that, or has earned that kind of, talk. Calling him Kevin De Bruyne, I don't think he is to be compared to the mighty Kevin De Bruyne, because Kevin De Bruyne right now is the world's best midfielder by far. But again, you think about it and you're like, just add something. Just say Emile Smith Rowe has improved a lot. He is working towards that. Just motivate him. These are young players. They need a lot of talk. They need a lot of motivation. But I think in my case, Emile Smith Rowe, if he keeps on that lane, if he keeps on that road, if he keeps pursuing the goals just like he's been pursuing them of recent, things are going to be a bit brighter there on whether Holding has signed a new contract. Of course, we did confirm this with the Athletic, and he said it is something that we will announce as quick as we can, but it looks like it. Congratulations, Rob Holding. He did sign a new contract. Whether he earned it or he doesn't, or he doesn't deserve it, that remains onto the sole eyes now. Of the fans, and depends on what tactical view of Arsenal you take. For me, the kind of defender I want to see at Arsenal is not Rob Holding. I never believe he's good enough for Arsenal. I never believe he's one of those best defenders. I wanted him out even in the summer. I still want him out, but he's getting a new contract, and I told you my reasons. I think Rob Holding is getting a new contract because he's a regular English player at Arsenal. On whether Martinelli injury is injury prone, he said that he had really bad luck with the 3 injuries that you are talking there, all really different ones. It was a contact. The other one is something that can happen at anyone. Or to anyone, but you have to be really be unlucky. We are gonna scan him today. Hopefully, it's not bad, and we can have Gabi back. But yeah, I was gutted for him because he was in pain and he was gutted. Yeah. That didn't look so good. That really didn't look so good. That injury of Martinelli against Newcastle. But I think he's going to be back. Look, he doesn't need to get another injury. He needs to get that game time. He's the best player by far at Arsenal when it comes to pressing. He's the best player by far when it comes to pressing. I don't want to see him out. I want to see him, on the pitch, game in, game out. But the problem, of course, still remains. The problem persists. If he keeps getting these kind of injuries, they are going to really affect his career. We have seen a couple of players like Thomas Rosicky. Whenever Rosicky was on the pitch, you could forget about his injuries, but sooner or later, he goes back to the sick bay. I don't want to see that happen to Gabriel Martinelli. He's been wonderfully ecstatic and fantastic. We need to have him. But anyway, on what will be in the Q&A, he said no. He's done it in the past. It's something that he does to engage with his fans and try to keep everybody informed. So I'm not surprised. That is with Mesut Ozil. And then I said on whether he'll be tuning into Ozil's Twitter Q&A, and said, I'm sorry, but I don't have Twitter. I don't follow Twitter. Of course, I don't expect Mikel Arteta to be following, to be live on this Mesut Ozil Twitter Q&A, but it would be something interesting if he was there, trust me. On Ozil's situation, he said, my understanding is that nothing has changed from the last press conference. The Edu and the club are having some conversations about the near future and long-term future, and when we know something, we will announce it. On Thomas Partey, Thomas has been in full training for 4 or 5 days. He's completely asymptomatic. It was a little bit rushed to try and play him for Newcastle, but I think he will be ready for Thursday. Yes! Finally, Thomas Partey is back, and why didn't I just start with that? It was so interesting. On Gabriel Magalhaes, he says it's better now. We expect him to be training with us in a couple of days, and we'll make an assessment whether we can have him or not on Thursday. On Gabriel, so that only shows us that Thomas Partey is ahead of Gabriel Magalhaes in the coming back order. So probably we will see Partey before Gabriel, and I don't have any problem with that. I think Partey is needed more right now. We need someone to play that midfield with Granit Xhaka before Xhaka's form fails. Or gets to the negatives again. If Partey can come back, because I think Gabriel's position has been dealt with so well. I think Pablo Mari has done a very interesting job when it comes to covering for Gabriel Magalhaes. But make no mistake, and there is no doubt, when Gabriel comes back, I want him to move straight back in the lineup. He is very interesting to watch. Of course, on on Martinelli, I did talk about that. On Mesut Ozil, he said, I knew when I made the decision, the consequences that we could have. We still have to try to find the right solution for the player and for the club. I won't comment on that, on that. On if there is anything in the Runarsson rumors leaving the club and anything, and said there is nothing yet. But the truth is, we need to find a new goalkeeper, and here is on the on goalkeeper, on a goalkeeper position. He said we are assessing the situation in the three positions in the goalkeeping area, and we will find a different solution probably in this winter. And that is something that should be done in this January transfer window. I think we need to find a goalkeeper. We've been linked with David Dreyer. I'll talk about that in the latest episode of my uploads, probably on Kossi's Brew. We'll be talking about, do Arsenal really need a new goalkeeper? Runarsson looks so nasty in goal. Really looks nasty. But we'll be discussing that later on. On whether Nketiah will leave, he said no. Okay? On whether Edin Nketiah will leave, he said no. So probably we won't be looking at any other stories right now. That is all for the stories from the big man, Mikel Arteta. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really means a lot. It really means a lot. And I always, prefer when I have, when I have you guys, and we discuss these things when I'm, when I'm live. But as soon as I can, switch back onto those live streams, we'll be hitting it very soon. So the press conferences are going to be coming in on a daily basis. No, not on a daily basis, but on every match day, we shall have the pre and the post press conference reaction. So make sure, and I know you will love them. Trust me, I know you will really do love them. So thank you so much for watching that Mikel Arteta press conference. He's been talking about so many things. Leave any questions in the comment section. Someone is really sending me messages on my computer, and they are disrupting my audio. But the good thing, we are done. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye. Of course, he didn't say anything about Emi Buendia, so don't tell me, Kosi, what did he say about Emi Buendia? He didn't say anything, and I'm sorry about that, but I love you, and I'll be coming back very soon.